Good morning for everyone, ladies and gentlemen, or listeners of today. My name is Helman Moncayo Mora, and I am a student of Bachelor degree in Foreign Language with emphasis in English from UNAT. For today, we're gonna work on a podcast, and today I gather you all to talk about a topic that I consider very important to address today. That this will be the question that we will gonna start today. How do we learn English? This is a question that I need to do to start a podcast because I need to everyone reflect about how was her experience about the learning of a second language. So, what do you think about it? I want us to keep that question in mind because as today I'll be talking about my experience learning English and how some experiences and some tools that I can use can be beneficial in these areas because I learn in English through different materials, dynamic activities, and different tools that help me a lot to engage this process and encourage me to grow every day. Now, with that in mind, I want you listeners reflect with me. This will be the first question that, well, this will be the second question because we did the first, that is, how do we learn English? This is my second question for today. When and how did you start learning English? I want to you think about it because everyone have a moment in their life where have uh, had faced these challenges with the learning of a second language, like English. So, in my case, I started when I was 5 or 6 years old. I don't remember so good, but in that moment, when I was a child, I used some songs, rhymes, games, and a book called Disney Magic in English. That I show you in a moment here with me because I want to share you some pictures about what is my material that I start and I start to face the English in my life. Okay, which did material about the classic cartoons because this Disney Magic English book, it was a lot. It was a good experience for me. I practice, I do all the tasks using videos, using the book, using songs, and other modes that I love a lot and make a good experience in my process. So, thanks to all the educational and dynamic material in English that came in this book, in this practice book, because it was a practice book of English, I learned a lot, and it will help you too if you start to practice with the childs, because when they are growing, you can take all these materials to help them to understand themselves, to practice some vocabulary, and practice other things with an engagement method, because that's the idea, that's the point. Share, enjoy, practice stroke the fun. That all are good experience that are very important in the process of the growing and the learning of a second language. Now, continue with the podcast of today. I'll show you some images about other things that can be used. For example, this book, the Jungle Book, is a good example of how we can implement stories with images, with text, and other things in English, and we can show them with direction what is the meaning of these of these words and what is the context, what is all this about that. Now, the third question with which we with what we develop this podcast is what key challenge and how you overcome them, because everyone have faced a challenge in their life in one point of their life or daily. They face these challenges and need to overcome of them. The key challenge is that I don't understand very well some use of grammatics, so I need to learn, I need to repass, I need to check them because I forget it. And in the moment that I start with this part in English, I feel a little bit bored. I don't feel very well because I don't understand it very fast as the words, as the songs that I practice that are very easily for children. And when I face that, I feel a little bit sad. Honestly, it will be hard, but I practice through songs, games. That's the way that I overcome this. I do not fully follow or understand all the structures, and I don't know much vocabulary. But through the practice, through the games, through the songs, I started to learn a little bit because all these problems that we will have confronting some type of life will be solutions, will be have a solution if we put all our efforts in that. Continue with that. Mm, I, in my personal process, I started to search songs, to search videos, to search games, and other more related because in that moment I have interaction with technological media, with the use of PC, of internet, and other more. Obviously, with the observation of my parents, because if you leave all or your children only with internet, you don't know what will happen with them. So you need to be careful with that moment. Because if you want to learn English, you need to take into account all this experience, all the behavioral that will be problematic if you don't control it very well at this. So continue with it. The idea in the moment with my parents, I looked for games to practice and improve it little by little, giving a step by step, because this is a process where we need to create a base to build at the house. That the house will be the speak of English and improve our own skills through different ways. Think about it. What you can do, what problems can you confront, and what problems what you can face in this learning practice and learning language. Now, our fourth question for this podcast is what kind of effective strategies help you to improve? Well, if we talk about what kind of strategies, some person could say that they learn through the practice, the real practice with other persons. They learn to listen in songs. They learn reading a books, and other ways. There is a lot of ways that we will improve our own skills, and we can affront all our process. So some strategies that I highly recommended are listening songs in English in order to practice listening and speaking. Sometimes as well, you'll be able to practice a little reading and reading through interesting readings that motivate you to learn. Every material, everything that you do need to be engaged for you. Because if you don't have a good experience, you will be bored, you will be disappointed, and you will don't have an interest on learn. You will not have an interest on learn. So taking all this behavioral into account, mm, what type of tests do you as listeners like? What kind of strategies will be you use to learn English, to improve your own skills? There is a lot of ways that you could use. There is a lot of tools too. So, what kind of strategies you will use? It's a good question for this. And some of my memorable experience related to the English is the practice through different video games, through the lectures, through the Disney media that create some DVDs, some practice books, and other more to engage that experience. In my example, I like a lot video games, so I practice with them because I need to talk with other persons. I need to have to understand. I need to understand what is the meaning of the skills that I will use, of the behavior of all of my character because the characters have a story, and if I want to know what is that, what is the meaning, what is writing in this part, I need to put all my efforts to do this. So I share you some
somebody's
videos,
actually
short
drunk
videos,
in your
with which
overall
I
hobby.
talk a little bit about with other person, or I will show you a little bit how
What the hell are you
I
doing here?
can
Oh,
I can
girl,
use
I done
English
nothing
through these methods,
wrong in like
because I think that every person have a
class,
different method to
and like
learn.
other than that,
So it's
I've
not
been
necessary
sober
that
for
everyone follow
Wait, no,
my method
no, he
or my
kidnapped me, he
strategies.
kidnapped me.
You can
No,
develop
please,
your
please,
own
please, please.
strategy and
I
it will
swear
be
to God.
good because it's the way that you learn. It's the way that everyone can develop their own skills, can improve, can search for more, and can be better in their context. Now, our last questions for this podcast is your current level and future goals in English proficiency. Well, my current level in this moment is B1. Obviously, I need to improve because I want to talk with other person. I want to share my ideas. I want to communicate with others, with peers, with other Moors. So obviously, we need to take all this and put it in a goal because we need to achieve that. And in order to achieve that, we need to make some short goals that we can develop in the moment because we need to reach them, we need to accomplish them, and we need to encourage ourselves to learn English. We might have some doubts about our level because everyone will have it, but we must encourage ourselves and have a clear goal that we want to reach. Well, in my case, I am currently working toward to reach the C1 level because I want to share with other people because I have friends that speak English and I want to talk with them. I want to understand them. And sometimes when they talk so fast, I don't understand very well. But it's funny. It's a way that make me feel happy. So with that, I can meet more people. That the goal is my goal is meet more people, share with them, share our background, our culture, our ideas, make us friends, and try to everyone have a good experience with the English because it's to my idea that every person have a good experience with this. So thank you so much, our listeners, for staying today, and I'll leave you here with some of the experience related to the mention above. Thank you so much for your attention and see you in another opportunity.
That help us to develop. For example, in this moment I am here, I don't saw nothing. I have a goal that I need to reach. And how this game, I need to do a lot of things that are very important to me. Oh my goodness! Okay. I'm very scared right now. Okay, some of the key points that I use to talk or I use to learn English is try to play video games that can help me a little bit to understand what I need to do, what I need to develop, and how can I address some concepts or some ideas that I don't usually understand very well. For example, in this moment, I am cleansing a content. What is that? It's just one of the goals of the game. Try to survive through your own medias. So, as an example, some key challenge that I affront. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm scared of a little moment for him because I don't saw him. I just saw him reach to me.